Hello, I'm Elaine Smith, the Artistic Director of the Clamour Theater Company. We're holding these creative conversations with playwrights, with actors, with directors, so that you can find out more about Clamour Theater and about the artists who work with us. Welcome to this edition of a Clamour Creative Conversation. Today, we are talking with Franky D Gonzalez, a playwright who is with us for Clay and Water 2020, our second annual Playwrights Retreat. Welcome, Franky. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So why don't you tell our viewers just a little bit about yourself, your bio and whatever you want them to know.
Right, absolutely. Well, hi, I'm Franky D Gonzalez. I'm a playwright, television writer. 13 Reasons Why Season 4 was my last credit. And I was born in Queens, New York, raised by a single Latina mother who raised 2 kids. I'm a proud father, husband, and yeah, I like to write plays for fun.
That's good. And for money too. That'd be good.
Oh yeah, that's always good too,
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to us a little bit about the play that you brought to Clay and Water. It was called 1 Month Along.
Yeah, 1 month along. It was an homage to Harold Pinter and his seminal play Betrayal, in which the narrative goes backward in time, and it is about infidelity. And I kind of wanted to explore the dissolution of a friendship of some mid-20 to late 20-year-olds as they try to make their way through a life in the arts, specifically in theater. And it was just a really, really fun exercise for me to try to create roles that match the kind of high drama, high language of Pinter, but for people in their 20s, which Pinter was not very known for. He was known more for work for people in their 40s, 50s, and beyond. And I wanted to see, well, can someone younger do it? And I was very happy to see that in Clay and Water that absolutely young people can do a Pinteresque show. Not to say that I write like Pinter or that I'm even close to the man, but it went off really, really well.
Great. Great. Has it had subsequent readings or productions since the retreat, or is it still waiting in the wings?
It has had some readings. Productions, of course, everything went completely curveball haywire because of the pandemic.
Sure.
Shortly after Clay and Water, actually, there was some interest. It's been in conversation with different places, but as soon as everything shut down, all of those conversations subsequently stopped as well. And when we come back, there will clearly be a reshuffling of the order of things with several different theaters. So I don't know if those conversations are going to restart, or if I'm going to have to reestablish those conversations or find new places that would be a potential home for 1 month along. But yeah.
We're all up in the air, so that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
Do you recall how you found out about the retreat and why you decided to apply?
Yeah, it was actually, I believe it was put up on the official Playwrights of Facebook. And it's interesting. One of the things that I had always said, because I lived in Florida for a few years when I was, before I'd moved to Texas. I'd lived in Central Florida specifically. And when we left, I'm a bit of a melodramatist. I'm a melodramatic person. I said I would not return to Florida until I was invited back as an artist. And when I saw Clay and Water, I was like, well, now's as good a time as any. And so I had submitted after having seen it. I believe it was the official Playwrights of Facebook, or it could have been the Playwright Center. It was one of the two. And I sent it in, and I thought it was the perfect opportunity to work on a play that generally I wouldn't get the chance to work on otherwise, because much of my work was being already, the work that was being developed was a completely different play altogether. So this was a chance for me to try something new and do an experimental piece and just really have time for myself to develop and write. and edit up the play and see how it sounded in a kind of um, unrehearsed, just cold read, which was another thing that really appealed to me about it is um, it was away from my usual collaborators here in Texas or even in New York. And so that would mean that I would know for sure, is this play working by itself and can it survive without playwright hanging there or without the context of actors already knowing me
Right.
and knowing my style and knowing what I want to hear. This was purely just a straight, they're doing it cold, and I am going to see raw and unfiltered how this play really stands without me involved. And that very much appealed to me as well with Clamour and what it was offering.
Good. Okay. Now tell me, do you have a favorite play of your own, either produced or unproduced?
It's like trying to choose between children. It it depends really on how I'm feeling at a specific time. There is one that there are two that hold the most significance for me personally. One is called Even Flowers Bloom in Hell Sometimes, which takes place in a prison over 25 years, and it explores the life of inmates in that prison. Um, and it really centers around my own childhood and visiting the only positive male influences in my life, who also happen to be felons. And so it's really very much a love letter to them. Also, a somewhat of a love letter to my son to let him know these are the positive male influences that made your dad who your dad is. And then the other play is one that I actually wrote a little bit of it while I was over at Clamour during the week there. The week retreat was Copaletas de Coco, which is a solo show in which I am. It's about 4 Christmas Eves in my life, and in these 4 Christmas Eves, I explore the last day I saw my father in the flesh, my last attempt in my own life, my son's birthday, and the settling of a decade-long bet. All happened on December 24th of different years. So it's really just an exploration of that time and of what fatherhood means. So those are my two big ones. 1 Month Along is of course extremely special to me because it's my homage, it's my tribute, and I hope it gets produced. But those two are the ones that are most special to me in a personal sense.
Cool. Have either of them been produced, or are they still waiting for the?
They're still waiting.
Okay.
There are things that are developing that, of course, because of NDAs, I can't talk about.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. Of
But
course. Yeah.
there are things that are still in negotiation, or they're in the early stages, or there was something that was going to happen, and then coronavirus.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah. So another thing I like to ask people when I interview them is tell me about 3 favorite plays that you have either seen or read by other authors, and what you like about them.
Oh man, there are so many.
I know it's hard to choose.
There really are so very many. There was one that I think it has not left me since I heard it aloud with the Labyrinth Theater Company. It's called The War I Know by Dominic Colon. He's brilliant writer, brilliant actor. He's based out of New York, just absolutely wonderful. Another one that I was just, I mean, I'm obsessed with anything by Charlie Yvonne Simpson, whether it's Jump, Behind the Sheet, I believe is the one that I saw at Ensemble. Wonderful, beautiful play. And I think oh gosh, it's so hard. And I'm gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I don't care about this person because I don't mention them. But honestly, dang, there's so many. There are really so many. And I think another one that I really very much enjoyed was one by my friend Nelson Diaz Marcano. It's called Las Borinqueñas, which was about the birth control experiments done in Puerto Rico to Puerto Rican women in the, I believe it was 50s and 60s. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the dates.
Okay.
But those are definitely 3. But really, there are so many. I can go on, like there's like the Stacey Roses of the world. There's like everyone that was at Clamour, the retreat for the second year. they're all amazing. Just everyone is great.
Sure. No, it's like having to do an acceptance speech for the Oscars or something that be
Yeah.
asked a question like that. But that's great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm collecting all this information. I'm thinking my reading list is just getting longer and longer and longer, but it's good.
Yeah.
So good. So for our viewers, if you would like to read plays by Franky, you can find them on the New Play Exchange website at newplayexchange.org. And for Clamour Theater Company news and events, you can check out our website at clamourtheater.org and follow us on Facebook as Clamour Theater Company. We will post all of those URLs in the description below. And if you'd like to see more interviews like this one, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Franky, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today and letting our audience get to know something about you. We really look forward to following your playwriting journey, and we are really glad you are part of the Clamour crowd.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be part of it.
Thank you.